Good afternoon, welcome to the Fire Burns Within channel again. I did the 33 bands I don't like, so I've got to do the opposite. 33 bands I love or like or whatever, 33 favourite bands. I mean, looking at my record collection, I did this a while ago and I posted a summary of my record collection, the whole of my CD collection, record or whatever you want to call it. I've got I think 287 different bands in my collection, so you might as well, you could say I like 287 different bands. There's probably more because I don't own everything that I like, but just looking at the stuff I do own, it's 287 of them with different bands. Now, of those, since I listed 33 that I disliked, I need to list 33 that I do like or love in some cases. Now, this one I've put in some kind of order. I mean, from 33, from say number 33 down to say even not, well, I don't know, even up to say the 10. The order is a bit interchangeable. I mean, it's splitting hairs. People love a lot of bands. I mean, you can't say somebody is number 33 and then number 32 you like just a touch more. It doesn't work like that, does it? I mean, you list bands that you love in general. I mean, the top 5, 6 maybe currently, yeah, I would say they are my absolute favourites. On their day I could like something a little bit more, but looking at the whole discography as a whole and how consistent a band is, but at least say the top 10 is very, very much in my thoughts as my favourite bands. Okay, let's just start this. Number 30. I'm gonna say the name of the band and one or two lines. Try to keep it a little bit more short and concise. Number 33 is Graham Magus from Sweden. Traditional heavy metal. Some albums are very much like Manowar. They remind me of Manowar. Others are sort of just more steady, heavy pounding metal. They never really pick up the pace. The vocals are awesome. I've seen them live a few times. They were awesome. I was actually supposed to go and see them before lockdown, and I felt ill. I didn't actually have COVID-19, but I felt ill and I couldn't go to the gig, so it wasn't worth the risk of going there and catching COVID-19. This was literally one of the last gigs in London, I think, and I got rid of my ticket. Anyway, let's move on. Number 32 is Ghost, also from Sweden. I was sort of a latecomer to Ghost. I saw Ghost supporting Paradise Lost, when they first started on their first album, and I thought they were fairly boring. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. But even on the second album, I didn't really get it. Yeah, it's got some good songs that I realised afterwards, but from Meliora, I was like, wow, Ghost, where have I been? Or where have they been? Where have I been? They've suddenly become like this amazing melodic metal band. Like, they've gone away from the out and out darkness and grimness of some of the previous albums. I mean, I'm not saying they were really dark, but the themes were dark and the music was a little bit doomy. But from Meliora onwards, I mean, they start incorporating much more melody, and I love the following album as well, Prequel. That's really nice. 31, I've got to do this quicker. I keep talking too much. Otherwise, this video is going to go on forever. 33, a 1 minute each band. That's 33 minutes. Okay, 31 is Helloween. I'm going to talk quickly. German power metal legends, Kiska, Kai, Waiki, the bass player, I can't remember his name, Grosskopf, something like that, Marcus, can't even remember the drummer's name, previous drummer died, but anyway, Helloween, legends, melodic power metal, classic. Number 30, Manowar, US heavy metal legends. Some people hate Manowar. I tend to love Manowar. I realise they're a very cheesy band. I've never seen them live. I did have a chance to see them, but the ticket was too much. The ticket price was astronomical, and I gave it a miss. But I do love some Manowar songs. I mean, I think they got some great songs, no doubt about it. Number 29 is Finnish band Stratovarius, Timo Tolkki, Timo Kotipelto. What's his face? The keyboard guy. Forget his name now. Anyway, he's famous as well. Stratovarius, consistent band. Tolkki's long gone, but they're still really good with the new guys. I really enjoy the post-Tolkki era. The Tolkki era is classic as well, but I think they're a very consistent band. Number 28, English death metal legends, Carcass. Yeah, awesome band. I don't like the early stuff. That's too raw, grindcore. From the album Necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious onwards, yeah, Carcass is awesome. Their comeback now, very cool comeback. I mean, it's not like classic Heartwork style. I mean, I even like the album Swan Song, which gets panned, but I love that album. I think it's awesome. Number 27 is back to Germany. Going back to Germany, Gamma Ray. Kai's band. He leaves Helloween, forms Gamma Ray, and says, alright, I'm going to out Helloween. And he does. I prefer Gamma Ray over Helloween. It's cool. I mean, I love Kai's singing style. I love a lot of their albums. They're consistent, pretty consistent, although Kai's gone back to Helloween now, so Gamma Ray's pretty much on the back burner. Number 26, going to Denmark and Volbeat. I think a lot of metalheads are a bit iffy about Volbeat. They don't really, I don't know, they don't find them cool or something like that, but I find them amazing. I've been a fan of theirs since the very first time I heard them. I was like, well, this is cool. This is a bit weird. These type of vocals are not really used in metal. I mean, it's just something cool. And they've slowly moved away from the heaviness that they used to have and becoming more and more melodic. But as a fan of melody and catchiness, I'm always on board with Volbeat. I don't think there's even close to a bad Volbeat album. They're really cool. Number 25, going back to Germany, it's Primal Fear. Awesome band, awesome power metal. Ralf Scheepers, awesome singer. He's the incumbent to the throne of Mr. Halford. Should Mr. Halford ever decide that it's time to let go of the chains and hand them over to Mr. Scheepers. There you go. Number 24 is American legendary progressive metal band Symphony X. Again, a fantastic singer, Russell Allen. What a voice that man has. Very cool, powerful, melodic, throaty. Michael Romeo, great riff merchant, great solos. Great band. I mean, very epic band. I mean, you won't find anybody saying too many bad things about Symphony X. Awesome band. Number 23 is Alter Bridge, the band formed out of the ashes of Creed. Scott Stapp is gone, Miles Kennedy is in, the rest of the guys are there. They've become a much heavier band, a much more melodic band, a much more modern band. Just a cool band. They don't have anywhere close to any bad albums. They've got 6 albums. They're all pretty great. They're a little bit mixed, but they're all pretty great. And Alter Bridge is easy in at 23. Number 22 is Impellitteri, a band I've done a ranking video for. I think these guys are really underrated. Chris Impellitteri, he's easily my favourite shredder in the world. Way ahead of Yngwie, way ahead of anyone else really. I think he's a great songwriter as well, and with Rob Rock on vocals, yeah, the quality is really good. I mean, he's had other singers as well, and the quality's always been good. I like Impellitteri a damn lot, a hell of a lot. Number 21 is the Tremonti Band, formed as a side project, if you like, because Tremonti was writing songs in a heavier style than Alter Bridge, a much faster, thrashier style, and he sang himself. And I love Tremonti. I've come to love Tremonti a little bit more than Alter Bridge, which is, I know some people don't like his voice over Miles, but for me, I love his voice. I think his voice is just perfect. Number 20 is an English classic prog metal band. It's Threshold. They've got a long career, a lot of albums, a lot of quality. Different vocals, Damien Wilson, the current guy, I forget his name. It's just popped out of my head. He was a singer before and he's come back. He's very good. Then you got the much missed Mac. He passed away sadly. I actually saw Threshold live with Mac in the Underworld, which was really good. And I've seen them live a couple of times with Damien Wilson, and also the returning new guy whose name escapes me. It's not coming to me. No, let's move on. Threshold, awesome prog metal, very melodic as well. Like, there's prog metal bands, like for instance Dream Theater didn't make my 33. I do like Dream Theater, but they didn't make my 33. But Threshold easily makes it. They're a little bit more song based than Dream Theater. Anyway, number 19, staying in England, but a different style of music. It's the almighty, I should say, Bolt Thrower. From Birmingham. Awesome classic death metal, very heavy, great vocals from Carl Willits, great heavy riffs, pounding, melodic. I think they've called it quits a while ago. I think they were gonna like record an album, and then the story was that they felt that they could not really top any of their previous records, so there was no point in making the record. So that was the end of Bolt Thrower. But now you've got the new band that was formed with Carl and some other guys. The name escapes me again. Memoriam? Is it Memoriam? They're quite good. They're not bad. They're not as good as Bolt Thrower though. I mean, I don't know. Some of the Bolt Thrower magic is missing. Bolt Thrower is just classic. I don't like everything they've done, but the stuff that I do like is just classic death metal. I mean, it's so heavy. It's like, proper heavy death metal. Number 18, I'm staying in the UK. A completely different style of band. It's Dragon Force. Dragon Force, I know, is a love it or hate it band, or a band that people are indifferent to. I mean, they've got a lot of fans, they're very popular, but they're also ridiculed as well because of their style of music, the way they play, ridiculously fast, cartoonish, video game-ish power metal. But I've loved them since the beginning. I saw them in the Underworld when they were known as Dragon Heart. They hadn't switched to Dragon Force yet, because they had to change the name because Dragon Heart was already a video game or already a name of a film, and they didn't want that confusion. But I saw them then, so I'm a real old school Dragon Force fan, and I've seen them God, I've seen them over 10 times. Over 10 times. And recently as well, on their most recent album tour, I saw them. Very cool band. I always enjoy Dragon Force. They're very melodic. The choruses are really catchy. The solos are a little bit annoying because they go on and on and on and on, and it's quite speedy. But I just enjoy Dragon Force in the main. It's a cool band for me. I mean, people may not like them, but I think they're cool. Number 17, going to the US for some classic death metal. It's Morbid Angel. Morbid Angel is a band that when I first heard, I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure about this. But then the more I heard, the more I really got into them. I started really delving into them and just got into the vibe, the darkness, the grimness, the great riffs, the great vocals from David Vincent, the crazy solos from Trey. I mean, no one solos like him. It's just mental, just insane way of soloing. Like, no, the structures are like not standard to some heavy metal bands. They sound so just odd and ballistic, just crazy. Very, very cool. Next band to mention, number 16 in the list. We're about halfway and we're on 16 minutes, so gotta talk quick. Is Hammerfall from Sweden. I love Hammerfall. I've loved them since the beginning. They're very consistent, melodic power metal from Sweden. Joachim Kans, Oscar, the guitarist. They've had a few members change, but those two are the mainstays. They've been in the band since the beginning. The quality in Hammerfall is guaranteed. You know, if you like power metal, if you buy a Hammerfall disc or you listen to a Hammerfall disc online or wherever, you know this is what you're going to get, the quality that you need. You're going to get melodic choruses. You're going to get fist-pumping anthems. You're going to get great riffs. You're going to get solid drums, solid beefy sound. This is what Hammerfall is all about. Number 15 is, to me, a legendary band. I would place them higher, but they only released 2 albums and couldn't fulfill the massive potential. I mean, they were already awesome. It's the mighty Lost Horizon from Sweden. Daniel Hyman on vocals, Wojciech, I forget his second name, I think it's Lisicki, something like that. He was the main man. He's a Polish guy, but I think he was living in Sweden. I just love the 2 Lost Horizon albums. I'm very sad that they couldn't continue. Daniel was out, I don't know, over what, some issues or arguments or whatever. Daniel's, he's had a few albums since then, and I've talked about him before, obviously in my singers videos. But Lost Horizon as a band, on 2 albums, they were just amazing power metal. I mean, pure power, a little bit cheesy, but proper empowering power metal. With, you know, the lyrics were somewhat cheesy, you could say, but it's just part of power metal's mystique to have this kind of like empowering feeling, and there's no one that gave you more powerful feeling than Lost Horizon. Okay, number 14, getting down to it now. Going to America and the legendary Iced Earth with John Schaefer, Matt Barlow, all these other guys, but obviously John Schaefer and Matt Barlow are the 2 mainstays. Iced Earth is quality. It's just quality. Classic. Well known for the triplet riffs, the speed, the heaviness, the big melodies, the darkness. No happy stuff in Iced Earth. No happy tra-la-la power metal. It's all heavy, grim, but it's still very melodic. It's catchy. John Schaefer, he's a riff king, no doubt about it. Number 13, staying in America, thrash legends, Slayer. To be honest, I wouldn't say I was a huge fan of Slayer, but I am a big fan of Slayer. they've got like mixed albums, but when they're really good and they're really on the money with the thrash, I mean, there's no way to deny them. I mean, the riffing is savage, the speed, the drumming from Dave Lombardo, the riff team from Hanneman to Kerry King, Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King, Tom Araya on vocals. He screams well, but you can understand the words as well. He's not like some of these newer screamers where you can't really hear what they're saying, or they're starting to growl a bit. I mean, Tom never did that, which was pretty cool. I mean, there's things about Slayer which I don't like, hence they didn't make my top 10, but I can't deny their status as a killer thrash band. Number 12, I'm going to Sweden. Probably my favourite power metal band from Sweden. Yes, I think nothing else from Sweden above them. No, it's the almighty Sabaton. I've liked them since the beginning. I saw them in the Purple Turtle in Camden. It's a bar in 2008, I think it was. 200 came, and I saw them before lockdown in Wembley Arena down the road, and 10,000 came. So from 200 to 10,000, I've seen the Sabaton growth, and I've loved them ever since. I mean, their albums are super consistent. You know what you're going to get with Sabaton. There's no change. There's no like immediate difference between the albums that you would say, yeah, oh look, they changed. They didn't change for no one. The band sort of split in the middle, towards the middle of their career. There was some issues with some members of the band wanting to have more control, and then Joachim and I think it's Per, the bass player, they were the two main guys in the band, so they kept control. The other guys went, and they formed another band, Civil War, which is a cool band. Not as good as Sabaton, no way, but it's a cool band. But Sabaton, for me, awesome band, consistent, power metal, classic power metal. Number 11, we're getting to the top 10. Number 11 is the almighty, I've said that about a lot of these bands, Virgin Steel, and Mr. David DeFay and guitarist Ed Persino. They've been going a long time. The early albums, I think, was 81, but they weren't so good. From Noble Savage onwards until about, say, House of Atreus Act 2, all the albums are pretty awesome. They're all very consistent. Classic heavy metal, sometimes a bit glammy, but most of the time really epic, like starting from the Marriage albums up to the House of Atreus albums, Invictus in between. Just a perfect run of epic metal. David DeFay, I've talked about this guy before. He's an amazing singer for me. I think I put him third in my list of all-time singers, which is probably too high for some, but for me, the guy is just awesome. I mean, he's lost a little bit in recent years, I've got to admit. And the band itself has lost a bit, but I just love Virgin Steel in the classic period. They're really awesome. Here we go, the top 10. I've got to say this quickly. 23-minute video so far. It's going to get past 30 at this rate. Number 10, going to Germany. It's Running Wild. I've loved Running Wild from the moment I heard them about 22 years ago. I went backwards in their career. Their very early stuff is quite raw, quite different than what they would become, the pirate metal stuff. They've been very consistent. Rock and Roll, he's the main man. Running Wild is his baby. What he says goes. He's a bit of a character, old Rock and Roll. He's like, I don't know. I don't want to say he's slightly loony, but he's got his traits, let's say. But he's a legend of German metal. I mean, Running Wild has so many classic albums. In the mid period, so many cool albums. They've always been a huge favourite of mine. Okay, let's stop talking now, too much. Judas Priest, number 9. Yeah, I can't say too much. Halford, Tipton, KK Downing, the current drummer Scott Travis, Ian Hill. A lot of classic albums. Heavy metal is nothing without Judas Priest, is it? I mean, they've got to be in everyone's top 10 heavy metal bands. Number 8 is probably the biggest metal band in the world. It's of course Metallica. Yeah, I can't deny their place in my top 10. Metallica, they've kicked ass in their past. They've also sucked in the past. Some would say they still suck now. Well, they're okay. I mean, I don't mind Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I think it's alright. But they've had their first 5 albums are all classic. Even the Black Album, which gets abuse from some quarters, from the real thrashers. I love the Black Album. It was one of my first metal albums actually that I really got into. I'd heard metal before, but not really, getting into them for full albums. But Metallica, number 8, can't deny them their spot. Number 7, Mr. King Diamond and his band. I love King Diamond. I just love King Diamond. I think his vocals are nuts. The melodies that he comes up with are nuts. The music in the band is awesome. Everybody plays like excellently well. Very melodic, awesome riffs. Andy LaRocque, Mike Weed, I think he's in the band now. Mickey D, he was the ex-drummer. What a drummer he is. And then King Diamond himself, the legend. I mean, he's a great songwriter. He's just very cool. I've seen King Diamond 3 times, I think. The first time he wasn't feeling well. He said he apologized because he was sick and his vocals weren't good. But the second time, he was really awesome. And then I think I never saw them when he returned after his illness, because he never toured. I think he never toured England, or he might have played Bloodstock, but he didn't tour the country. So I didn't see them when he's returned from his heart problems and so on. But King Diamond I love. Number 6, going to America, it's Testament, Thrash Legends. To me, Testament should be in the big 4 and not Anthrax. I know some people are going to say what, but I've already said I'm not a huge fan of Anthrax. So for me, Anthrax is out of the big 4 and Testament is in. Testament is awesome. Very consistent band. A couple of albums not great, but every band with a lot of albums has some albums which are not that great. But they're very consistent. They maintain quality. Chuck Billy, Alex Skolnick, Eric Peterson, now Steve DiGiorgio. Before it was Greg Christian. I actually really like his bass playing style as well. Very cool band. And now Gene Hoglan on drums. Just a super group of thrash metal. I mean, what can you say? Number 5. I finally... a rock band, a melodic rock band. I've had a lot of metal bands, but this band is a modern band of the last, say, 10-15 years. It's Eclipse. I've talked about them a lot. I mean, I've mentioned Eric Martinson a lot. Magnus, the guitarist, he's an awesome soloist. But Eric, it's all about Eric. His songwriting skills are like unmatched in melodic rock, in my opinion. I mean, the guy is just a brilliant songwriter. He can't do no wrong for me. Even in his, when he writes Outside, like Outside Eclipse, every song is just awesome. I mean, okay, he's got some repetition factors, which a lot of, when you write as many songs as he does, it's gonna happen. But to me, Eclipse is just an awesome band. I mean, there's not a single song of theirs that I would say is not good. I mean, at least every song is good. Number 4, we get in there. Number 4 is a power metal band from Germany that I've become a huge fan of since I first heard them back in 2004. It's Powerwolf from Germany. Attila, the singer, the Grey Wolf brothers, guitars. They don't actually have a live bassist, which is quite odd. Seen them live 4 times, I believe. I love every Powerwolf album, even the first one, which is quite different than the others. It's more heavier, a little bit more gothic, but I still love it. But I love all their stuff. They're very consistent. They are samey though. I mean, you can say that Powerwolf doesn't really change and they stick to their formula, but I love that formula. What can I say? Powerwolf is just an awesome band. Top 3, here we go. Number 3 is the almighty Death and Mr. Chuck Schuldiner. I've loved Death from the very first time I heard them. The first album I heard was Individual Thought Patterns, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I hadn't heard too much death metal before that, but I was blown away by the technical skills, the melodies. Even Chuck's vocals were like pretty cool. Like, of course, I wasn't used to such a screaming style, but I soon got used to it. And then I went backwards a bit. Then I went to spiritual healing, and I like that. Scream Bloody Gore has always been a little bit difficult for me. I do like it, but I find the rawness a little bit hard. But Chuck's discography on the whole is flawless. I mean, Death is a flawless band, and it's still not my one of my 2 favorites. There's still 2 bands ahead of Death, but Death, everyone knows that Chuck is the great master, the father of death metal. Although he always said he didn't want that tag. Like, he never wanted to be the father of death metal. He's happy for other bands. Like, I think he's Possessed. That the other one is the question of who is the first death metal band. But I mean, whatever one you want to call it, Chuck is one of the pioneers of the style. I mean, the funny thing is, there's a lot of bands who are like, they say they love Chuck, but you don't hear too much death in their style. A little bit, but not really a lot. I mean, Chuck was really unique in the way he played death metal. Obviously becoming much more melodic. So I don't know. Other bands probably want to be more brutal than melodic, so they don't follow the death style. But they all know that Chuck is the reason why they play death metal. Right, I've talked a lot. The Old Voice. 2 bands left. You might be able to guess them. At least one of them. You should be able to guess them both. Number 2. I actually had this the other way round, and then I've decided to change it. Number 2 is Iron Maiden, of course, from England, UK, and the East End of London. I actually had them in first, but then I thought to myself, which band over the years have I played the most, given me the most pleasure, seen the most live, enjoyed the most songs, enjoyed the most albums, and yeah, I pushed Iron Maiden into second. I mean, Maiden is legendary. I think every metalhead literally loves Maiden. There's not many metalheads that can say they don't really like Iron Maiden. There may be a few, but in general, everybody loves Iron Maiden. Whether you like death metal, black metal a lot, or if you like power metal, or you like traditional metal, or you like, I don't know, anything in between. Even new metal, even if you're just strictly a new metal fan, you probably like a bit of Iron Maiden as well. It's just par for the course when you listen to heavy metal. But the number 1 band, the biggie that I haven't talked about yet, you should be able to guess it. It's the almighty, the all-conquering thrash titans from America, Megadeth. Of course, I'm talking about Megadeth and Dave Mustaine, David Ellefson, the classic period, Nick Menza, rest in peace, Marty on guitars. Big lineup changes all the way through their career. A lot of great albums. A lot of changes between albums, and I'm bored with a lot of the changes. I'm not like, I mean, you should know my listening habits is not like out and out thrash all the time. So I embrace melodic metal. So when Megadeth does melodic metal, that's not a problem to me. I can listen to it. I enjoy it. When Megadeth does thrash metal, I love it. When Megadeth does some experiments, I can live with it. I'm not like Just saying out and out thrash only. So anyway, that's it. Megadeth, #1 for me of all time. My favourite band. Played the most times, enjoyed the most albums. It's actually, I don't know if I've seen them more than Maiden. I think I might have seen Maiden more than Megadeth, but they're both in the teens. So it's pretty close. So there you have it. Quick rundown of the 33. This video is so long. Grand Magus, Ghost, Helloween, Manowar, Stratovarius, Carcass, Gamma Ray, Volbeat, Primal Fear, Symphony X, Alter Bridge, Impellitteri, Tremonti, Threshold, Bolt Thrower, Dragon Force, Morbid Angel, Hammerfall, Lost Horizon, Iced Earth, Slayer, Sabaton, Virgin Steel, Running Wild, Priest, Metallica, King Diamond, Testament, Eclipse, Powerwolf, Death, Maiden, and the mighty Megadeth. Okay, those were my 33 favourite bands on this occasion. I mean, I love a ton more, but 33 I can only mention.